Good afternoon, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon.
Yeah, ma'am. We are just starting in a while.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible.
Okay, fine. Yeah.
A very good afternoon to all the participants and ma'am to you too. So I welcome you all in the second day of this third day's international workshop on Millet Mahotsav, which is being organized by Just Agriculture Education Group and Sher Kashmir University of Agriculture Sciences and Technology, Kashmir. As we all know that United Nations has declared 2023 as International Year of Millets, and in India we are celebrating this year and by organizing various events like conferences, conclave, awareness program, and everything is going around us. So this is just an attempt from the team Just Agriculture and Sher Kashmir University of Agriculture Sciences and Technology, Kashmir, to create awareness about this year, the International Year of Millets, and about millets itself. So in this series, we have our guest of the day, Dr. Nisha Bharti, who's head of the Department of Agribusiness Management at Symbiosis Institute of International Business, Symbiosis International University, Pune. So, ma'am is working on this position since 2013, and she is a doctorate in rural management from Institute of Rural Management, Anand, and she holds a postgraduate degree in agriculture from Indira Gandhi Agricultural University, Raipur. Ma'am has also worked as visiting faculty with various institutes like Gokhale Institutes of Politics and Economics and Vamnicom, etc. And she has industry experience of working with various organizations, including Pradhan for 2 years. And ma'am has published more than 25 research papers in various top ranked journals of the country and also some international journals, which is including ABTC. And ma'am is also a reviewer and editorial board member of several top ranked journals. So ma'am is also awarded with Best Professor Award in Rural Management, which is given by Devang Mehta Foundation in 2017. And she is also a recipient of the award of Professor Indra Parikh Women in Education Leaders from World Education Congress in 2017. So today ma'am is here with us to enlighten our participants. So ma'am, over to you.
Thank you, Himani. Thank you so much for giving this opportunity and inviting me to talk on this millet. With this International Year of Millet, millet is gaining importance, and I'm happy to see that things are changing. Things are changing for good. It is changing a little slow, but yes, it is changing for good. So we are happy to see that development, and I hope that in coming year, whatever efforts we are taking for making this millet staple diet in our diet pattern, that will happen, and all our millet mission will be a success. With these words, I would like to share my screen and give my presentation on topic which is allocated to me on marketing strategies for millet. Let me know if my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am, it's visible.
Yeah, I'm making it full view. Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am, sure.
Okay, so today I'll be talking on this topic, which is marketing strategies for millets and millet-based products. Now, one thing which I would like to tell here is that usually millet, you will see that there has been a lot of development, means varietal development and all that. But in terms of marketing, there has not been a lot of work on millets. And one thing which is very, very important for us to note is that if we are able to produce a lot, but if we are not able to market this product, will not be able to gain the success which we are longing for. So that way, this is a very, very important topic which we should be deliberating on. And just with this thought, I thought that we'll be talking on this topic of how we can formulate some marketing strategies for millet so that our millet mission will be a success. Now, all of us are aware that millets are called miracle grains. Now, as we know that this word is given to millets because of their nutritional properties and their advantages of taking millet in our diet. Now, the journey of millet from core cereal to nutri cereal, and that too, now we are naming it as Sri, and is very, very interesting. And we need to look at that how we have traveled this journey across and how we can further move forward to make this cereal, that is Sri Anna, a little more important in everybody's life. Further, if I just touch upon the status of millet in India, you will see that between 1951 to 2020, there has been decrease in cultivated area under millet, that is almost 35% decrease. However, the total production has increased 3 times. Now, why I am making this point is that is something which gives us a little relief that despite the fact that the area under millet has decreased, the production has not decreased. That has increased over 3 times. Now, thanks to all the varietal development which has been taken place by various state agriculture university and all that, but still there are several concerns. The concerns are like only few states are the leading producer of millet, like Rajasthan, Maharashtra, and MP. Now, if you look at usually MSP for only major millets is there, that is Jowar, Bajra, and Ragi, and that too in Ragi is not covered in many of the states. And that way, small millets and all, which are an important component of this core cereal group, are still left out from this whole MSP system. Now, how it is going to impact? If MSP is not there, what will happen is that farmers will not opt for this. And that is why what exactly is happening, that people are going for cultivating wheat and rice, but this millet has been ignored for last so many years. Now, if we talk about the consumption, the global millet consumption has declined at a rate of 0.9%, but it is expected to witness that it will further move and it will increase. And a positive movement will be there between this 19 and 2024. Global millet market, it will reach by $12 billion by 2025. A 4.5% CAGR is expected between 2018 to 2025. Now, if we talk about the world export, it has increased from $380 million in 2019 to $402.7 million in 2020. That is 5% increase in 1 year. Now, why I'm quoting this data is that there has been a lot of potential for us to increase the export of millet. In India, if you look at, we are one of the leading producer of millet, and there is enough potential for us to go for the millet export. Now, another very, very important aspect why we should focus on millet production is that the water scarcity situation is worsening. And as we are aware that mostly wheat and rice are one of the most water consuming commodities in agriculture. Now, if you look at, I was just working on a paper on this, and we have analyzed that part in our paper, that in terms of exporting rice from our country, we are virtually trading water to other country, despite the fact that we are in a water scarce situation. And by 2050, it is expected that we will be in very, very severe and serious situation if we do not take this into consideration. In our cropping pattern, we have to modify our cropping pattern, otherwise it is going to create problem for us. Now, if I talk about the efforts to promote millet, what I have seen and what I have observed is that there has been a lot of effort, but all those efforts are very scattered. State agriculture universities are taking efforts on their own, private universities are taking efforts on their own, private players are taking efforts on their own. There are several startups which are coming up and they are taking efforts on their own. But if we want that millet mission should succeed, there should be some holistic approach where all these players should come together, sit down and devise the strategy that what should be done so that we make this millet mission successful. And in all these aspects, marketing strategies will play a very, very important role. Now, production of millet in India, I have already shared that India is one of the leading producer of millet, followed by Africa. This data is from FAO stat, and it shows that India is one of the leading producer of millet. Now, with this fact, another very, very important part, I hope many of you will be aware of that as you are keeping this session for last one day, that how many types of millets are there. These are major millets and minor millets. Major millets are sorghum, pearl millet, and finger millet, that is jowar, bajra, and ragi. Minor millets, which are not given that much importance in today's context, is this foxtail millet, kodo, sawa, and all that. Now, in terms of status of minor and major millet, if I talk about, you can see here that small millets are only 2% of the total millet production as such. However, the total millet production itself is a very, very small component of the total cereal production in India. Now, why this millet business and millet have started taking up? A very, very important fact that urbanization is there, the disposable income has increased, purchasing power has increased, the consumption pattern is changing, there is a demand for healthy food, and the COVID, the biggest lesson which we have got was that health is wealth. And if we are not going to focus on the healthy food, that is something which is not a sustainable thing. So that way, this potential for millet and millet products has increased post-COVID even further, and that is a positive aspect of it. Now, in terms of the constraints, what all are the constraints in millet promotion? There are many, but some which I would like to focus on in my presentation is that first of all, what we have done is that we have done this a very wrong positioning of this crop as a poor man crop. And in that way, what we have done is that this crop is cultivated at a very, very subsistence scale, and commercialization is lacking. People used to grow this only for the home consumption and not for the marketing purpose. So I just quote here Dr. Arvind Kumar, who is the Deputy Director General of ICRISAT. I was there with him in one of the sessions at IGKV Raipur, and he was talking on that we have never cultivated millet with proper package of practices. And that way, what is happening is that this crop has been tagged as a low profitable crop. Now, he was mentioning that fact that I fully agree with him on that, we have never cultivated that with proper fertilizers, proper package of practice. So give them proper fertilizer, proper nutrient, proper care, and you will get that millet is also profitable, given the fact that in today's context, if you compare the prices of wheat, rice, and millet, you will find that millet are much more highly priced than wheat and rice, and it has the potential of giving a good income to the farmers, provided they do it at a, commercial level. So that what is important. Now, wheat, rice, maize, we have promoted a lot, and thanks to our green revolution that has made this wheat, rice, and all that very popular. But the millets has been sidelined in this all process. Now, very less use of improved package of practice, which I have already mentioned, and tagged as low yielding and low, not so profitable crop. Other problem with millet is that it is not so good in taste. And other than that, the cooking time is high. And that is why what is happening is that a lot of people are not very willing to adopt millet in their daily diet pattern. Now, lack of appropriate and affordable post-harvest processing technology is another constraint. So, and a very, very important aspect, that lack of commercialization. Unless we cultivate millet on the commercial level, the further whole channel is going to get disturbed because of that process. So further moving, now if I talk about millet promotion, and if I say holistic approach, what we should be doing, I have put it in a three pronged strategy. That first of all, the efficiency of production should be improved, because as I mentioned that it is not produced at commercial level, and that is why we do not go for an improved package of practice for millet. Usually many of the universities are coming up with improved variety of millet. So we need to adopt those improved variety, go for a good package of practice, and improve the efficiency of production. Now, another side, if we are production is high, then the produced commodity, the millet, need to be supplied to the market. For that, we need to strengthen the marketing strategies, as well as the demand expansion is needed both at domestic as well as international markets. So these three kind of strategy is going to help us in promoting millet across. Now, improved efficiency of production, if I say, then what do I mean by that? As I said, that soil health is important. Usually you will see that millets are produced in dryland kind of condition, where the very low fertile soil is there. And if we want to improve the efficiency of production, we need to go for improved soil health for this millet. Further, as I mentioned, that if MSP is not there, it is difficult to convince the farmer to go for this millet production and all that. So that is why we need to focus on incentivizing millet farmers. Financial support is very, very important, though we have certain schemes like KCC and all that where they can get financial support, but we need to ensure that the whole value chain financing in this millet is adopted, and that is how we can strengthen the production efficiency of millet. Improved technology we need to adopt to improve the efficiency of production. Variety of seed, many have been developed, but unfortunately it is not been adopted at the farmers level. So that is how we need to work on that part. Now, expansion of demand, if I say, there are certain factors which we need to take into consideration. There is a nutritional benefit of this millet, but what is happening is that the awareness regarding this nutritional benefit is very less. I was just conducting one recent research on this part, and the findings have reflected that people are not aware about the nutritional benefit of millet products. Now, another thing which I always mention about, that me and you saying that millet is good for health is not going to work. What we need to do is that if health service providers will come forward and support this mission by recommending this as a healthy diet to their patient, or even the nutritionist can come forward and recommend it as a healthy diet to their people, that is going to definitely make a change. That is what I strongly believe. Now, integration of information on millets into education curricula is very, very important. I remember that when we were doing our graduation and post-graduation, millet was something which was sidelined in the curricula, that this question will not come. So now the focus has shifted, so that is how the students need to be trained, that this is something which is important and they need to focus on that. Another constraint in the expansion of demand is that people don't know how to cook. Now, there has been several initiatives, like people are coming up with Millet Cafe. Recently, I was speaking at IGKV Raipur. They have started a Millet Cafe where they are launching various recipes of millet to promote millet. If people will use it, if people will know that how to consume, how to prepare it, people will definitely go for it, looking at the nutritional benefit of these products. Now, if I talk about the marketing strategy, one thing which will be very important for us to understand, that which kind of market we are going to target. If we are going to have the primary processing, probably this B2C, that is business to consumer market, will be a good market. But we can also think of industrial market, that is B2B, directly from manufacturing to consumer. That will be something which will reduce the price and will make it this mission more successful. Now, if I talk about that, what is a good marketing strategy? First of all, if I'm talking about that millet should be having a good marketing strategy, then first of all, we need to understand that what is a marketing strategy. First of all, these marketing strategy will look towards all their marketing mix, that is product, price, promotion, and place, the business environment in which they are going to work, the distribution network, because this has been repeatedly focused that distribution is something which is very important for the success of any product. So that need to be strengthened. Further, marketing strategy requires a deep understanding of your business, competitor, customers, as well as market. And here I will suggest that any of the startup or any person who is going into promotion of millet, a small market research will play a very, very important role. I will just elaborate on this further in my further slides. But what is happening is that people are just blindly going up with the startups. Even state agriculture universities are distributing the seeds, but they're not understanding that whether farmers are ready to adopt this crop or not. So for those purposes, a small market research will also help, but try to understand the consumer need, because understand one thing, that consumer is the king. If it accepts your product, you are a success. Otherwise, a good product also has failed in market, and there are several examples related to that. And various marketing strategies and tactics, which I'll cover in my presentation today. Now, why it is important to understand the market? As I mentioned, that customer is the king, and understanding the need of customer is important for the success of any product, be it millet or be it any product, service, whatever you talk about. Now, all components of marketing should be aligned. What happens is that if you have not set and designed the strategy, and if one strategy also will go wrong, it is going to lead to a disaster. If your product is very good, but the pricing is not good, you will never be able to achieve success. So that is why I always emphasize upon that sit down and prepare your marketing strategy, marketing plan, that what do you want to do, and how, just a rough estimate. Just sit down and prepare it on a paper, and you will find that you yourself will be able to identify that where things can go wrong. Now, every product is not meant for everyone, and that is why we need to carefully strategize. There are existing products in market. Now, what is your differentiating feature? There are, if I talk about even processed millet product like millet muesli and all that, there are other products also in market, but your product need to be positioned in the consumer mind in that way that your product is different than those products. So that is why it is important for us to sit down and prepare your marketing strategy well. Now, if I talk about that, what is a good marketing strategy? First of all, the very, very important aspect, as I have already said, that customer is the king. So first of all, define your customer. that what target market are you trying to reach, what demographics they will they have in common, what problems are they facing which you are trying to cover or trying to provide through your product. So all those things you need to decide upon. Know your product. Why I'm saying know your product? That if I'm saying that know your product, that means that what value you are going to provide, what difference you are going to make in someone's life. Why does that matter to your customer? Now, competition, who all are your competitor, and then how you differentiate yourself from your competitor. Maybe you can consider your price, your quality, your location, your service, your values, the lifestyle. All those things will be part of your competitor analysis, and based on that you need to decide your USP. Now USP, you might remember that many of the products used to use some emotional branding kind of concept, like Prestige used to brand their product like jo बीवी से करे प्यार वो Prestige से कैसे करे इनका. So like that you need to devise your strategy, your USP, that what is your differentiating feature. One punchline is going to help in promoting your product. Then outline your resources and then define your marketing method, that how you're going to market your product. Here, in terms of marketing plan, first thing which is very, very important for us to sit down and do is that situation analysis. Now, I'll just give you one example here. I was taking one session with one organization. I'm not naming the organization, but one of the startup came up and said that he is having a vegetable drying factory, but he is not able to find out that how he'll market his product. Now, one thing I'll just raise here is that if you are going to create a factory or manufacturing unit for vegetable drying, have you thought over that who will be your customers? What is the market forecast? Whether somebody will accept your product or not. If they will accept, at what price they will accept. Particularly in Indian consumer, we are aware that there is enough fresh vegetable available in the market. So that way, your target should be a very specific target, who will be your consumer on those aspects. So like that, there are various examples, but here, because of paucity of time, I'm not getting into that. If anyone is having any question, I'll be happy to answer that. Further, the potential customer, competitor, as well as the business context where you are working is important for you to understand. Then market opportunities and issues, conduct a SWOT analysis of your product that will help you understand that what is your strength, what is your weakness, where you need to work upon further. Now, if I talk about the further steps, those are the segmentation and targeting. As I mentioned earlier, that all products are not meant for everyone. Remember that, and never try to be everywhere. Be focused, define your market, define your segment, target it properly, position your product properly, and you will definitely get a success in any kind of product which you are trying to bring to the market. Now, marketing mix and positioning, that is the 4 Ps. What kind of product you are developing, at what price, where you are going to provide it, all those things are very, very important. Financial projections, that what will be your pricing and other budget aspect you need to take into consideration. Once sit down and prepare the strategy, but further also review the strategy. And one thing which is very important in management, we always, whenever we work on case analysis and all that, we tell our students that be ready with a contingency plan, because you always work in an external environment. Things will not move as you want. So that is why we always need to be ready with a contingency plan, that the plan A will not work, then plan B should be ready, and your program should not fail. And then accordingly, you can revise your strategy. Now, specifically, if I come to this marketing strategies for Millet, I have devised the 4 pillars of these marketing strategies for Millet. That is the first part, your marketing mix, that is product, price, place, as well as promotion. The second aspect is the STP, that is segmentation, targeting, and positioning. The third and the very, very important aspect is the distribution channel, and then the packaging and labeling of your produce. That is something which is very important in case of millet. Now, further moving ahead, the recent concept of 4Ps had changed to 4As, and that is that only developing a product is not sufficient. The product should be acceptable to the consumer. Now, if I tell about acceptability, what does that mean? And this is the reason that why I'm always emphasizing on conducting a small market research, that the thing is that whether your product will be acceptable in market or not, you need to understand the consumer needs, and if the consumer doesn't need it, and if you're coming up with that product, that is something which is going to fail. Then price, whether it is not only devising the price strategy, but whether it is affordable to the larger masses or not. Then the availability of the product, I have been giving this example in several forums, that if you are coming out with a very, very premium product, but that is not available in many of the store, the product success is going to go down. And further promotion through awareness, because in the earlier part I have mentioned that I conducted a research, and it came up very, very prominently that people are not aware about the benefits of millet. So that is something which we need to focus on. Further, if I talk about the STP, many of you might be knowing, but those who are not aware of that, what it means. Segmentation is about, there are various bases for segmenting the market, but to develop the market segment profiles is about segmenting the market. Targeting is about evaluating the market segment and selecting the best segment which is suitable for you. That is about targeting. And positioning is about identifying the competitive advantage. As I mentioned earlier, that USP, develop that. And then positioning in consumer's mind is about positioning of the product. Just to give you one example here, the first portion is about entire market. When we are segregating the similar kind of people into different group, that is about segmentation. And there are various methods in which you do the marketing, that is differentiated marketing, mass marketing, niche marketing. So there are various concepts which are important for you to understand when you are going to launch your product based on millet and millet products. There are various examples of mass pen, like a pen is designed for left-handed people, is a niche marketing product, whereas a simple pen is a mass marketing product. Now, if I specifically talk about the STP for the millet, what should be the segmentation, targeting, and positioning strategy for millet? Now, what I have felt is that in recent times, millets have become very, very highly priced, and it is not very affordable by the lower class, lower income segment people. Now, I'm not talking about those rural areas where people used to grow it at a very subsistence level and are eating this jowari roti or jowari bhakri or rotla in Gujarat. But I'm talking about the commercial aspect of a millet, where this is highly priced and much more highly priced than wheat and rice. And that is how I suggest that usually we need to target the high income group people, and then only we can. What is happening in today's context is that the purchasing power has increased even in rural areas. So lower income people are also trying to imitate the market of urban areas, and they are able to afford it because of the purchasing power going up. So that way, I suggest that it will be a better strategy for us to target the premium segment first, and then as we increase production, the demand supply gap will be decreased and the prices will come down, and further it will be affordable for everyone. So that is how my strong feeling is, that first we should position this as the health food for premium segment. taking the help of health service providers also, that will definitely help us in making this millet mission successful. Now, if I talk about evaluation of segment, there are certain criteria based on which you can evaluate your segment. That is the attractiveness of your segment, the size, the growth rate, profitability, scale economies, and there are many other factors related to that. Now, if I talk about the 4 P's of this millet, there is a lot of work which is going on the product diversification through processing. Now, in product diversification through processing, when I say that, I mean all 3 levels of processing. That is primary processing, where you are simply doing sorting, reading, and all that. The secondary processing, where you are trying to convert it into a flour or those kind of thing. And the tertiary processing, where you are trying to develop millet chips or millet snacks or millet dosa mix or ready to eat products or those kind of things. But one thing which I would like to emphasize here is that for every product, whatever we are coming up, the segmented market and the targeted market should be different. Because in even premium segment, everybody will not go for millet muesli, because even in upper segment, that is a very, very highly priced kind of product, like Tata Soulful has come up with this millet muesli, and prices are very, very high. So that way, a proper strategy which is needed for each product, that what should be our strategy to position our product in the market. Now, there are various companies which have come up with many products. So there have been talk on that. So I'm just skipping that part. Now, for place, as I mentioned, that health consciousness among urban people is increasing. So health products are gaining important, upper class people, but for specific place, probably gyms, the super malls, and those kind of places we need to target to demonstrate or do the promotion of our products. Now, nowadays there has been daily grocery chains like Super Daily, FTH, Dunjo, Swiggy, Instamart, and all that. I'm sure that if we collaborate with these people and have our product available on those channels also, definitely it will be a good idea. And pricing, as I said, that technology is a very crucial thing, which is costly. Prices of the products are high. So cost of the product, processed products will definitely go high. For better market penetration, we need to bring the price down further. As I said, that when we improve the when we improve this efficiency of production, what will happen is that the demand supply gap will reduce, and further the prices will come down. So as of now, I don't think that we need to worry on the price segment, because I always suggest that it should be targeted in the premium segment. And believe me, premium segment people, they are ready to afford high price also, if it is providing them a value and some benefit to them. Now, the brand positioning, very, very important aspect of millet, because first of all, we need to identify the competitor, then analyze the competitor, that what is their strength and weaknesses, the points of difference and points of parity of your product. Strong brands may have different points of difference, as I give the example of Dettol and Savlon. When Savlon was launched, Dettol was an existing player in the market, but Savlon just positioned its products in a way that it doesn't have the burning sensation, it doesn't have the smell, and it was a success in the market. So the only thing is that how do you identify these points of difference and points of parity? That is going to make a difference in the success of millet mission. Brand mantra should be communicable, memorable, and it should inspire. So that is why it should not be very long. It should be small and communicable and memorable as well. Brand positioning, emotional branding, I have already mentioned about prestige. Now, brand positioning and promotion for millet, if I talk about, there are certain brands like NutriChoice, Eat Right by IIMR. The name itself suggests that it is something which is good for your health. So that is how you need to promote your brand name. Catchline is like keep your heart young, as Safula is doing. So maybe for millet, we can have something like eat good to feel good. Those kind of statement will support the cause of millet. Then exhibition and fairs are important strategy for promoting a new brand. Now need to move beyond exhibition for millet. And in today's context, word of mouth, electronic word of mouth, and social media has become very strong promotion tool. So I will suggest those who are getting into this kind of business that use these tools efficiently and effectively. It will definitely help you. Trial packs and bundling of product, because in millet one of the constraint is that people have not even tried that. So trial pack and bundling of product will definitely help. I have already suggested that big malls can be used for the promotional campaign and all that. Promotional material like banners, pamphlets and all are the tools which we have been using, so we can go for that. E-retailing used to give a big opportunity for the expansion of market of millet. Product diversification and continuously improvement of the product based on the feedback from customer. Understand one thing, that market research, what I said earlier, that need to be conducted in the beginning. That should not be only one step process. Further also seek feedback from customer and work on improving your product. That will be something which will help make your business sustainable. Further, one important point which I always bring to the table is that MBA students are ready to go for these kind of internship where they can help you with promotional campaign and all that. So those kind of opportunities you can always take and work on. Now, in terms of dimension for positioning, there are certain dimension you can select that what kind of dimension for positioning you want to adopt, like product differentiation in terms of features, durability and all that. The price, even that Chota Coke, they have introduced, the Coca-Cola introduced at the price of ₹5. Service differentiation, like Eureka Forbes is to do that, they will provide you a doorstep services. People like celebrities and all that, you have seen Coca-Cola ad by Amir Khan. I know new startups cannot afford that, but there are other ways in which you can position your product in the market. And now brand management for millet, as I said, the catchline, the promotion, brand recognition, then name of the brand, all these aspects I have already discussed. This slide is just to summarize whatever we have discussed in past. Now, packaging. Now, this is something which is very, very important for us to understand, that when we are saying that this product need to be positioned as a premium product. Now, in premium product, the packaging and labeling should also be done in that way where it gives you the feeling of a premium product. Like health benefit of the product need to be highlighted, because this is your USP where you are going to with which you are going to have your product position in customers' mind. So all those things should be highlighted in your packaging. If you are going for a healthy product, preservatives, artificial colors, please avoid and mention that on your packets. That will definitely add value. And as per the need of consumer, usually have transparent packaging, but that should give you a premium feel. Thick material should be used to give the premium feel for this kind of product. Now, snack products and all that you can use in refillable kind of packet, or maybe small packets. Large packaging always should be in resealable packing. And as this is positioned as a health product, environment friendly packaging material will also add value to your product. Now, in terms of labeling, I have seen many of the local producer, those who are into millet products and all that, they do not do the proper labeling. Please ensure that your labeling is proper on your packet. The weight of the product, date of manufacture, the expiry date, the benefits, instruction to use, health benefits, all those information should be properly labeled on the millet products, as well as your brand, certification logo, if you have anything. All those things are very, very important to promote your product in the market. Now, distribution channel, what I will suggest is that keep it shorter, up to maximum 2 to 3 layers. Otherwise, the price of the produce will further go up, and that will be a bigger constraint for us. So this is something which we need to keep in mind. Another factor which is important for us to understand is that in distribution channel, many of the organization like Vodafone has started this Lal Dukan. So we can collaborate with some field level worker in rural areas if I want to go to that market, or then in urban areas we have different super malls and all that, where we can collaborate and promote our products. Now, in terms of business model, usually I have suggested two different business model: SHG based and direct with enterprise, that is through some SMEs collaboration. Why I'm saying this is that usually millet farmers are these small and marginal farmers. They are scattered more in number, but bringing them together in any form of collective SHG or FPOs will help increase their bargaining power in the market, to get the agri inputs at a lower price, as well as sell their produce at a higher price, and that will increase the profitability of this produce. And further, as I mentioned earlier, that this crop has been tagged as a low profitable crop, so that tag need to be removed, and this will help us in removing those kind of tags from this crop. Further, if I talk about this SHG based model, what I suggest here is that this SHGs should be also involved in procurement, as well as they can also go for some primary level processing, where they can do this packaging, leveling and all that. That will help us in reducing the cost and providing employment opportunities in rural areas. Now, enterprise-based business model, where these enterprises will collaborate with this procure from millet producer, and they themselves will do this processing of product and packaging and labeling, and that is how this product can be promoted. Now, just to conclude, because I thought that I need to give some time for some question answer also. I don't know whether we'll be able to take up this question answer as we are live streaming it. But just to conclude here, the constraint what has been there is that millet we have left for long. Means the production pattern suggests that post Green Revolution, millet has suddenly gone for a decline, and that is how it is difficult to bring it back after such a long period of time. We are so used to using this wheat and rice product that bringing this millet in the dietary, regular daily diet pattern of ourselves is not that easy, but believe me, if we take the effort, we'll be able to do that. Now, repositioning of millet and millet-based product as premium product is something which is going to help, as I believe. Further, export of millet also has a lot of prospects, because in other countries, people have started realizing the importance of millets. And further, these millets are also grown without chemicals and all that. So that is how we can promote these organic millets, and we can go for export of organic millet, which will be a very good strategy for us to promote millet in future. Demand expansion, as I said, that which is very, very important, because if we produce but market is not there, the farmers will not be incentivized, and further will not be able to promote farmers to go for millet production. So that is how demand expansion through awareness generation, because as I mentioned that awareness is a big constraint. about the nutritional benefit of the produce. So role of health workers as well as education curriculum will be very, very crucial in making this millet mission successful. The price volatility is very, very high. So that way, if we are going for some contract farming with those who are into millet processing, that will be an assurance to the farmer that their produce will not lie there and it will be sold in the market. Further, and this will also encourage farmers to go for millet production, because in today's context, if you look at, even production is not up to the mark. So because of that, the prices are very high. If prices are very high, it is creating a vicious cycle, because if prices are very high, a large masses are out of this market and they are not ready to afford this product. So that is how the first venture point should be increasing the production, then establishing the market through contract farming or through various other channels, which I have already discussed in the session. Then processing of products, because understand one thing, that these millets doesn't have a very good shelf life. So if you want to increase the shelf life of the produce, that can be done only through processing of the products and through developing various value added products. And one thing I will honestly say here is that processing of the products will definitely decrease the nutritional value of millet. We need to promote the uses in the basic forms like ragi flour or jowar flour or all those kind of things. But if we want to expand the market, we need to get into all those dimensions. Only one dimension is not going to help. Further, as I mentioned, that whatever products you are coming up with, sit down and prepare your marketing strategy on a paper. A logical flow of the marketing plan will help you identify your loopholes as well as your strength point. So that will give you the confidence to hit the market with a better product at a better price, with good promotion strategy and probability of high success in the market. Now, as I mentioned, that millet farmers are mostly small and marginal. So that is how what we need to do is that they need to be bring in some collectives like SAGs or FPOs will help, and the cluster approach is definitely going to help us in promoting millets. Advocacy for including MSP for minor millets too, as well as other millets in very other states is also very, very important. Another thing which we have noticed here is that these millets are somehow consumed in some of the states where it is produced. But those states which are non-producing state, there the consumption of these millets are even further low. And another aspect is that these awareness programs and all that, whatever I could see, is happening in all those states where these are being produced. The more need of this kind of program is there in those states also which are non-producing states. So I'll suggest those who are into these programs that try to have these programs specifically focusing on those states where it is not being produced now, so that the farmers will feel encouraged, will be aware of the benefits of this, and will go for the production of these millets. Once they produce locally also, it creates a promotion kind of atmosphere that people start using it. Now, I have mentioned earlier also that whatever efforts we see are very, very scattered. Everybody is taking their effort. But my take is that it's high time that we take integrated effort for involving government, non-government organization, as well as private players, state agriculture university, the startups, those who are into the farmers, those who are the biggest stakeholder, as well as the consumers. Because if they accept your product, you will be successful. Otherwise, if they reject your produce, whatever good produce you have developed, it will not succeed. So it should be an integrated effort involving everyone, all stakeholders should come together, and we should develop some platform where people should have people can come and raise their voices, give their suggestions. I thank Just Agriculture team, because I came to know that the participation of people in this program is very, very high. And I understand that this program might have been attended by a lot of people from various dimension, which I'm saying various stakeholder might have attended, and will definitely understand the importance of this millets, and we will definitely succeed. It may take some time, but things are good. All the best to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your wonderful talk, and you have touched almost every aspect of millets and the International Year of Millets. Like what we do, we have to fix the MSP, sorry, and we have to prepare the POPs for millets, which is not there right now.
Right.
And yeah, the participants are joined through YouTube as we have live streamed the program, but we have got some questions through WhatsApp, like
Okay.
they have personally texted us, because we have a WhatsApp group of participants, so they ask their questions through WhatsApp.
Yeah, please.
So then we have, yeah, so one of the participants is curious and they just want to know, like, you are working in this field, and like you are saying that you have given some lectures in IGKV Raipur, and also, so what is the yeah, like we are celebrating this year. Yesterday we had a guest from Australia, and she has also said that India is celebrating, it's like more than other countries. No other country is celebrating this year like India. So India is very, very enthusiastic in this aspect. So we are seeing that many programs are being organized. Even government is promoting it at their level. So, like, what is the ground reality? Can you let us know, like, how it's going on in ground, like how farmers or how the
Actually,
stakeholders are adapting
yeah,
it?
yeah. Good for the whoever has asked this question. Is a very, very tricky question and very tricky answer also. But one thing I will say that see, in terms of ground effort, people are taking a lot of effort, but actually if you look at the conversion of this effort will not happen that soon. This I have been emphasizing, that understand that for last almost more than 50 years or so, we have changed the dietary pattern. So even for farmers, accepting the fact that if they go for millet production, they will sure get a market is not that easy. So the whole cropping pattern, if you look at the cropping patterns of our various states, all those cropping patterns are usually dominated by the rice or wheat. Or at max, if you look at Maharashtra and all are into sugarcane and all that. But largely, these are dominated by rice and wheat. Millets are not there in cropping pattern. They will come, but we have announced this year as a millet year. And I was having a discussion with a Vice Chancellor of IGKV, that is Girish Chandel sir, that it should not happen that this year we are talking millet, and next year we forget about it. So this should not happen. This should be a continuous effort. Then only we'll be able to bring change. Otherwise, it will be difficult.
Yeah, ma'am, sure. And the other question is related to the first question only. Like we had seen like green revolution was there in 19s. So do we need a revolution for millets also? Because from previous many years, the scientists are or the researchers, they are recommending the farmers to go for crop diversification, as we are noticing that the pest and diseases complex is increasing and losses is increasing in the agriculture sector.
Correct.
In field. So they are asking farmers to don't use like chemicals and go for crop diversification, and then they can just control it and all the things. So do we need a revolution so that we can go, do it for years?
Of course we need to, because as I said that we need to take continuous effort. If you talk about not only green revolution, why are we forgetting white revolution? That white revolution which was brought by Varghese Kurian sir, that was an effort for so long. And that is why if you look at this, we have been self-sufficient in milk. Now, if you look at the today's scenario, Amul is one of the largest company in dairy and other products. So that was a continuous effort since 1940s, 45, 46, they were working on this idea, and almost 80 years down the line, we are still working to promote dairy value chain. So that way, we need to understand that part, that only 1 year of International Year of Millet is not going to work. We need to take continuous effort. We need to be behind it. Otherwise, if we will leave this and hanging this year, this is something which is, and definitely we need to have this millet revolution, which is the need of the day, and we need to have it.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, I also feel that there is a saying that with great names and with great power comes great responsibility.
Right.
So we are seeing that government is promoting it. Even in their conferences or meetings, they are having cookies which are made of millets. So they are doing it on their own part. But some other influential personalities in our country, if they started doing this, then I think the youth of our country will also do the same, because they follow their idol stars and all. So if they are going to do it, then of course the youth will also do it.
I mean, in India, people have the habit of following film stars and all that more than anybody else, or maybe cricket stars. So I feel that as part of social responsibility also, like millet startups cannot afford the fees of the celebrity, but
they should do it.
Yes, if as part of social responsibility also, if they do it, that will be good for the nation, because understand another important thing, that in terms of the malnutrition, India is leading in a very wrong way. So that should not be the case. And if we go for this millet and all that, we will improve on those human development index also, which is the need of the day. We all talk about sustainable development goals and all that. So this will be part of it. So that is how it is important for us to understand and implement it.
Yeah, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am. We are done with the questions and the queries, and it was indeed a very wonderful session. You have touched like every aspect, as I have said earlier. So thank you, ma'am, for joining, and hope we will join in some other sessions also.
Definitely, yes. I am for this millet mission. So whenever anything is there from my end, you can just take it as yes every time.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Dear participants, now we have our... Yeah, ma'am, you can leave.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much.
Dear participants, so in this series, now we have our next guest with us. And this is Dr. Komal Chauhan. She is HOD of Food Science and Technology, Head of Center for Food Research and Analysis, Head of Center of Excellence for Food Fortification, Associate Professor Nutrition from NIFTM, Haryana. And Komal Chauhan had the rare opportunity of being nurtured varied regions and cultures of India, bringing out the best in her. She did her doctorate in food science and nutrition from Banasthali University, Rajasthan. And ma'am is a meritorious student throughout her academic career. She has been a scholarship holder and gold medalist at master's level. And she embarked on her teaching career from ST College, Ambala, Kent, and later to Banasthali University. At present, she is working as Associate Professor in Nutrition in the Department of Food Science and Technology at National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management, Kundli, Sonipat, which is located in Haryana. And she has a teaching and research experience of more than 2 decades. She has published and presented several papers in national and international journals and conferences. So she has been working in the area of nutraceuticals and functional foods and nutritional biochemistry. She has been working in the areas of malnutrition and non-communicable diseases, namely diabetes, cardiovascular diseases, and obesity. And she has worked on various projects sponsored by UNICEF, UGC, DST, CERB, and Ministry of Food Processing India, and Ministry of Tribal Affairs, and WCD, Government of Kerala, and many more. So ma'am is here with us today to talk about millets. So welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Himani. Am I audible?
Yeah, ma'am, you're audible and your PPT is
And
also visible.
visible? Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. Kindly put it on slideshow mode.
Yeah, I'm putting it. Is it fine now?
Yeah, ma'am, it's completely fine.
Okay. So very good afternoon to all. First of all, I would like to thank the organizers, Just Agriculture, for taking up this 3 days international workshop on Millets Mahotsav and giving me an opportunity to talk about millets on this platform. So I'll be talking on millet processing and functional foods. We all know this year is the International Year of Millets. Are the slides moving? Hello.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
So as we all know that this is the International Year of Millets, and Honorable Vice Chancellor has embarked like all the national, international organizations as well as like academic institutes. We are all promoting millets to achieve the goal of sustainable development goals that is fixed for 2030. We have to like end hunger or reach zero hunger level. So millets can be one of the grains that can lead us for that achievement of that SDG 2. So the presentation of my today's presentation will have the outlines for like I'll be talking about the introduction, the novel consumer trends, about millets and the millet momentum, role of millets, its processing, the various technologies, the anti-nutritional factors, and the utilization and the advancements in packaging and the key takeaways. So first of all, I would like to talk about the institute that is about NIFTM. It is a National Institute of Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management. It was initiated by Ministry of Food Processing Industries as a deemed university in 2012. And now it has like given the status of INI, that is the Institute of National Importance, by an act of parliament in 2021. And it is an apex body as a one-stop solution provider and acts as a center of excellence as an apex world-class center of global standards in the area of food technology and management. The benchmark about NIFTM is like innovative and world-class in all academic
Ma'am, yeah, ma'am, sorry to interrupt, but now the slides are not moving, I think. You're on slide number 2.
Okay, I'll just see.
Yeah.
Is it fine now?
Yeah, ma'am, now it's fine.
So the benchmark about NIFTM is innovative and world-class in all academic endeavors, and we are catering like for the BTech and MTech programs with a blend of technology and management. It has a benchmark curriculum, and besides this, we also have the PhD programs in different domains of the foods as well as MBA in food agri business. And the benchmark of NIFTM is like it has 3 pillars. That is, one is knowledge, and then innovation, and then outreach. So under knowledge, we are imparting knowledge regarding food processing and technology, and we are having the academic courses, BTech, MTech, PhD, and MBA. And then we are having under innovation, we have the research and the like interactive mode of facilitating learning through mind maps, role playing, and scenario analysis. And through outreach, we are reaching to the masses through our village adoption program, which is our flagship program, under which the faculty as well as the students, they adopt a particular village for a period of 4 years across India, and we go and impart trainings and knowledge to the farmers about the processing so that we can minimize the losses or the post-harvest losses during the transit period, or how we can store those, and so that the benefits can reach to the farmers level also. Besides that, we also impart experiential learning through our like pilot plants and incubation centers to establish a strong institute industry linkages. Then we also have a Center of Food Research Analysis, which is a state-of-art laboratory and with an integrated assessment from NABL, APIDA, and FSSI, and Center of Excellence for Food Fortification, which provides holistic solutions to like for staple food fortification. We also impart knowledge and capacity building. Besides, also it acts as a center for addressing the problem of malnutrition through scalable solutions. So coming back to our topic, like when we talk about the food security, then we see that there is an over-reliant on the conventional cereal crops. Food security is basically that food should be provided to all at all times. And for achieving this food security over a period of time, we have been over-reliant on our commonly consumed cereal crop, that is wheat and rice, which has led to the loss of diversity in the genetic pool. And under that, what we did, like when the Green Revolution came, that was the need of the hour, because there was shortage of the grains at that time because of the famines in different areas of India. So what we did, we shifted from the traditional diets to these wheat and rice, and we marginalized the use of the like indigenous grains, and it resulted into underutilization of certain grains. And that there is like a major problem of malnutrition in our country. Despite of 75 years of independence, we are not able to combat malnutrition, both macro as well as micronutrient deficiencies, and there is a hidden hunger. And like if we see the NFHS 5 data, we can see that anemia is still prevalent in like most of the states, with more than 60% of the vulnerable section, that is women and children, are suffering from anemia and the other micronutrient deficiencies. Besides this, protein deficiency is also very common, and more than 80% maybe children and even the adults are suffering from protein deficiencies. So our modern food system isn't setting up for the nutritional success. That is like when we shifted initially, the focus of government was towards the food security, and now it has shifted to nutritional security. Both food and nutritional security is important. But do we think that we are able to reach that target, that is SDGs by 2030? We are far from that. And that is where the need has come again to rediscover the underutilized grains, so that the genetic crop diversity that was lost long way can again be looked into, and for which the crops that require minimum of irrigation and can grow in poor soils, high temperature, is the need of the hour. And see, these grains have not undergone any kind of genetic changes for a long period of time. So this can be a major provision for the diversified food sources in our agriculture systems, to provide both the food as well as the nutritional security, as well as without interfering with any climatic changes or making any significant impact on the environment. So these millets can grow on the poor soils. There is no need for any kind like poor man staples, right? Because क्या होता था कि पहले ये सिर्फ जो लोग अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते थे व्हीट और राइस, वो ही खाते थे, तो इनको हम मोटा अनाज मानते थे, और ये जो है सिर्फ पुअर मैन्स डाइट में कंसिडर किया जाता था. लेकिन थैंक्स टू आवर ऑनरेबल प्राइम मिनिस्टर, that he has again shown, like without these grains, we are like moving towards the increased trend is there for the chronic diseases, and that is where then we are not able to meet the food as well as the nutritional security. और सबसे बड़ी बात है कि without any climatic change, without any use of fertilizers, without the use of like water, that is like rice में कितना हमें पानी चाहिए होता है, wheat में भी चाहिए होता है, तो कहाँ कहाँ हम कार्बन फुटप्रिंट्स भी छोड़ रहे हैं. तो मिलेट्स जो थे वो नेचुरली ग्रो करते थे. क्रॉप रोटेशन के टाइम पे जो है दे आर सो रिच इन लाइक उसमें नाइट्रोजन जो सॉइल में और भी फ्लश करते हैं. तो इन सब चीजों को देखते हुए वी हैव अगेन शिफ्टेड कि वी शुड स्टार्ट प्रोड्यूसिंग एज वेल एज कंज्यूमिंग मिलेट्स, जो कि हमारा इंडिजिनस क्रॉप था. सो दे आर नाउ कंसिडर्ड एज अ न्यूट्री सीरियल्स. श्री धान्य के नाम से जो है ये अब जाने जाते हैं और हम लोगों को ये कंज्यूम करने चाहिए. So जो अब हमारा जो ट्रेंड था, that was novel consumer trends, is more towards the westernized culture. We are adopting the westernized dietary regimes and we are more towards the restricted and customized diets. कहीं पे कोई कहता है कि शुगर फ्री लेना चाहिए, कोई कहता है फैट फ्री लेने चाहिए. ठीक है, ये ओबेसिटी के लिए डाइट्स हैं, ये रीनल पेशेंट्स के लिए डाइट्स हैं. जो अडल्ट्स, जो नॉर्मल अडल्ट्स हैं, तो वी आर ऑल मूविंग टुवर्ड्स दीज रिस्ट्रिक्टेड एंड कस्टमाइज्ड डाइट्स और वैल्यू बेस्ड paleo diets. Even the gluten free foods, gluten intolerance हमारी कंट्री में कभी नहीं था. जो हमने हाइब्रिड वेराइटीज फ्रॉम द वेस्टर्न कल्चर वी हैव अडॉप्टेड during the green revolution, see where we have landed. Like celiac disease और gluten intolerance जो है वो अब हमारे हर घर में आने लगा है, जो कि पहले कभी नहीं था. And plant, even we are shifting more towards the plant-based organic foods or the fasting foods. So this trend is basically जो है we need to look into the nutrition smart agriculture, which is the need of the hour. जो कि अब आप देखिए, अगर if we grow millets and the global millet market जो है that is expected to reach about 12 billion USD by 2025, and it has registered a CAGR of 4.8% during 2022 to 27. And किस तरीके से we can actually accomplish this, जो हमारा goal है, SDG goal है, to reach zero hunger level also. So we need to create millet hubs and mega food parks that are focused on locally produced millets. So this is very, very important that millets should be produced locally, consumed locally, and for export purposes, so that the international level पे जो हमने अपनी जगह बनाई है in terms of this international year of millets, we are able to produce that much कि हम अपनी country में जो consume कर रहे हैं उसके अलावा जो है when we are able to meet the demands of the entire world also. So for that we need to actually create these hubs or the mega parks. And there is like millet momentum is now gaining gradually gaining the momentum and importance. And बहुत सारे जो entrepreneurs हैं, they are focusing on the processing and manufacturing of the value-added products from the millets and the post-harvest practices to improve the economy of the farmers and manufacturers. Again, another mission of Honorable Prime Minister, that doubling the farmers' income. So वो doubling the farmers' income कैसे होगी when we are putting less of the inputs and getting more outputs. So the millets can be one of the criteria where we can increase the demand, and once the demand would be there, the supply के लिए farmers जो हैं वो अपने आप से they will grow and produce these millets. So and plus where we come into role as a food technologist or food nutritionist, that we require significant processing and value addition of these products so that we increase the palatability and the acceptability of these products. Through nutrition smart agriculture, we can fulfill all the parameters of enhanced productivity, which will also enhance the economy of the nation. Since we've been talking about International Year of Millets, how it came into being was like 2018 May, we celebrated the National Year of Millets. And from there, we projected to UN that as kindly declared 2023 as an International Year of Millets. And since 2018 itself, we started working on this, how to promote millets for production as well as consumption all over the world. And like India ranks first in the global millet production, about 30.39 million tons in 2020. And the global exports grew by 44.8% in 2018 to 19, and 2025 it will grow by 12 billion. So India is a key player to fulfill the global demand and contributes nearly 20% of the global export value. And this is like when we have entered into the year of millets, there is sudden boom, jump in the market of the millets, which has led to the production and consumption, leading to nutritional benefits for the smart consumers. So then UNGA that accepted that International Year of 2023 as an International Year of Millets, which gave this year a millet momentum also. And I would always say, just last session, I was listening to Dr. Nisha also. She was saying that we since we have declared this International Year of Millets, so it is not we will not stop or restrict ourselves to this year. Actually, this is just a beginning and we have to take it forward. It should be like after this, we have to work for another 1 decade to come back to our roots again and start consuming millets and see millets in each and every plate. So when we talk about millets, we need to know that there are different kinds of millets. We have categorized them into major and minor millets. There are total 9 millets, and some other varieties are also grown in the native area. So these are some of the millets. And when we talk about the nutritional profiling or the nutritional composition of these millets, like across both major and minor millets, we see that the protein content varies from 8.4% to 15%. Carbohydrate varies from 69 to 76%. Fat varies from 1.4 to 5.1%. And the ash content varies from 1.1 to 3.4%, while fiber varies from 8 to 18.2%. So that indicates that it has a very high content of proteins plus fiber, and it is rich in micro and macronutrients also. Only the pearl millet has a high content of fat, that is 5.1%, and because of which it has comparatively less shelf life. If we see the nutritional composition in comparison to the wheat and rice, we can see clearly that these millets, if at all they are consumed once in a day, they are going to meet our dietary requirements much better in comparison to the wheat and rice. And then when now certain millets like fonio, it is a minor millet, and it is also called as grain of life because it matures early and it is contains a wide array of micronutrients also. And all these are gluten-free grains. So the problem of gluten intolerance that has been coming up in the developing countries all of a sudden. So we can actually combat that by consuming these, and we can shift back to the consumption of these millets. So the composition or the classification of millets, as I was talking about, what are major and minor millets, depending upon the size of the grain, they have been, and the availability also, they have been classified as major. And there are 3 major millets, that is pearl millet, finger millet, and sorghum. And under minor millets, we have 5 to 6 millets, that is foxtail, proso, kodo, little, and barnyard. There are other millets also like brown top millet and pseudo cereals also. These are all classified under cereals only. And when we talk about the compositional profile, since they are agri products, it has high proportion of complex carbohydrates with a good amount of resistant starch and have a low glycemic index. The high fiber content, especially the soluble fiber content, also varies from 3.4 to 6.5%. The fatty acid profile, as I was talking about in the last slide, the pearl millet has highest content. It varies from 4 to 7%, and out of which 75% is the unsaturated fatty acids, and that is a major reason for its lesser shelf life. Then besides this, it is a good source of proteins, having a high level of methionine and cysteine, especially in the pearl millet, and with a very high biological value, 83%, digestibility coefficient 89%, and PER of 1.43, which is much higher than that of wheat, that is 1.27. And it also contains a good number of essential amino acids, and the major proteins, especially fonio में जैसे glutenins है, which are rich in lysine. Generally cereals जो हैं, they are lacking in lysine, and fonio is a good source of lysine also. Besides this, the micronutrients, जो हम micronutrient deficiencies की बात करते हैं, hidden hunger की बात करते हैं. So if we consume these micronutrients on a daily basis, the entire like the vitamins as well as the major micro minerals like calcium, potassium, iron, magnesium, copper, sodium, and phosphorus can be easily met. And we like certain organizations are coming up with biofortified varieties also that are rich in iron and zinc, that has been developed by Equiset, and they also contain good amount of phytochemicals or the bioactive compounds, which actually acts as antioxidants and prevent various chronic diseases, which are lacking in wheat as well as rice. So these phytochemicals basically act against the free radicals or bind the free radicals. So they are like phenolic acid, flavonoids, and certain millets also contains GABA, that is gamma aminobutyric acid. Then when we talk about the nutritional profiling, when we have a good amount of nutrients in them, obviously the health benefits would be associated with them. Since it has a low glycemic index, more of the resistant starch, more of the complex carbohydrates. So it basically suppresses the postprandial glucose. Postprandial means after when we consume food, there is a natural tendency that food would be converted to different monomer units, like glucose is the major fuel of our body. तो जब भी हम खाना खाते हैं तो ग्लूकोज लेवल्स आफ्टर डाइजेशन एब्जॉर्प्शन जब वो होता है तो ग्लूकोज लेवल थोड़ी देर के लिए बढ़ते हैं हमारी बॉडी में. एंड जब एक नॉर्मल अडल्ट के इन रिस्पॉन्स टू द इंक्रीज ग्लूकोज लेवल इंसुलिन इज रिलीज्ड इनटू आवर बॉडी. एंड जब इंसुलिन नहीं रिलीज होता नॉर्मली इन आवर बॉडी, देन द पर्सन इज कॉल्ड एज डायबिटिक. तो ये क्या काम करता है, सिंस ग्लाइसेमिक इंडेक्स इसका लो है, तो जो पोस्ट पेरेंडियल ग्लूकोज लेवल पढ़ना था वो उतना ज्यादा नहीं. तो दिस पर्टिकुलर कैटेगरी ऑफ फूड जो है, मिलेट्स जो है, दे आर वेरी गुड फॉर डायबिटीज because they act as anti-glycemic or have a hypoglycemic nature and can be considered as anti-diabetic foods also for the management of type 2 diabetes. The phenolic constituents जो है, जो मैं भी बात बता रही थी कि फ्लेवोनॉइड्स हैं, क्यूमेरिक एसिड है, फेरुलिक एसिड, कैटेकिन्स, क्वेरसेटिन, कैम्फेरॉल, जो पॉलीफेनॉल्स हैं, they are acting as anti-cancer, antioxidative, anti-inflammatory, anti-diabetic. Name a disease and these antioxidants are very, very useful. And since they are very good source of iron also, so they prevent anemia. And it's made most of the millets have this probiotic and prebiotic potential also. I hope the slides are moving. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible and slides are also moving.
Okay. So there comes the need. Why millets जो है वो किस लिए there comes the need of the processing when they have all this high nutritional index also and high therapeutic index. Therapeutic is having a medicinal value. So what is the need? for the processing of these millets. So basically some of the millets जो हैं, they are bitter in taste because of the presence of certain amino acids in larger content, that is phenylalanine and tryptophan. And the texture is also not that soft as of the wheat. इनको मोटा अनाज कहा जाता है, coarse होता है texture, इनकी रोटी बनना कोई किसी भी चीज में जो है, it is not that easy. So there comes the need for the processing. And as I mentioned that bajra या pearl millet जो है, that is a very good source of these unsaturated fatty acids. But at the same time, when we are doing processing, milling करते हैं उसकी बाजरे की for making the bajra flour या बाजरे का आटा जब बनता है, तो what happens, the lipase enzyme जो है, that is released, that is present in the pearl millet, it is released, and since fats जो है उस पे वो act करने लगता है, and it breaks down into them into glycerides and free fatty acids. As a result of the free fatty acids, there is the chances of rancidity. Rancid होने के बाद जो flour जो होगा उसका टेस्ट भी खराब हो जाएगा, and it will result into off flavors also, which will be which is unfit for human consumption. So there can be gastric disturbances also, and वो खाने में एकदम आपको लगता है कड़वा ही हो जाता है, it is not palatable also. And the most important thing is कि despite having high nutritional index, it also contains certain anti-nutritional factors which needs to be actually taken care during the cooking or the processing. So all these factors have a negative impact, that is the shelf life is comparatively less. आप आटा को चावल जो है सालों साल पड़े रहते हैं, आटा जो है आराम से 3 months to 6 months, 3 months तो आराम से रहता है अगर अच्छे से स्टोर किया जाए, it can be stored for a longer period of time. Same is with the these millets. इनकी shelf life जो है वो बहुत कम होती है, especially because the millets that are rich in fat content, they become rancid, and because of the lipase enzyme or the lipooxygenase enzyme, and that makes it unfit for human consumption. Because the acidity of the flour is also increased, and it results into soapy off flavors, and there are subsequent changes in the functional properties also, so it would be less accepted by the consumers. So there comes different levels of processing. We have primary processing. It can be done at a domestic level also, and industrial पे भी करना ही पड़ता है. Like first is the decortication. So decortication is basically removal of the outer husk. So since they are very good source of the layers जो हैं, they are very good source of minerals also. So some mineral content is lost, but like decortication further improves the bioaccessibility of these minerals. It has been seen that iron, zinc, and calcium ki bioaccessibility can be increased by 26, 24, and 15 grams per 100 grams respectively. And the protein digestibility is also increased, resulting into significant reduction in the fiber content, polyphenols, total phytic acid, and the amount of tannins. तो decortication से क्या है, कुछ minerals loss होते हैं, anti-nutritional components सारे loss हो जाते हैं, और जो है साथ ही साथ क्या है कि उसकी protein digestibility and bioaccessibility जो है of minerals increase होती है. Similar is with the milling, जैसे rice और wheat की होती है for making value added products. Millets can also be milled. Then secondary processing involves various processes like puffing, baking, milling, flaking, and value added products can be prepared using one of these methods, or maybe blend of these methods. Then talking about the anti-nutritional factors, like phytates, tannins, protease inhibitors, saponins, hemagglutinin, and lectins जो हैं, they are basically called as the anti-nutritional factors. और इनका क्या काम होता है? They either interfere with the absorption or chelate. Chelate क्या होता है कि बीच में जैसे mineral होगा तो उसके आसपास जो है ये phytates आके उसको bind कर लेंगे. So they form the kind of complex which is an formation जो है that is irreversible. So basically that mineral would be unavailable to the body. similar with the protease inhibitors जो है, they interfere with the digestion of the proteins, and it is not limited कि जो proteins हम in millet से मिलना है वो तो करेंगे ही करेंगे. Since we are not consuming कि अभी हम सिर्फ millets खा रहे हैं फिर हम दाल खा रहे हैं, तो we consume a mixed diet. तो what happens is, तो जो proteins हम बाकी भी अपनी diet में ले रहे होंगे, since they contain a good amount of protease inhibitors, so they interfere with their absorption of the other proteins also and making them less available to our body. Then the primary and secondary processing, जैसे phytates है, चाहे हम सिर्फ soak करके रखते हैं थोड़ी देर के लिए, fermentation है, germination, malting, abrasive polishing or washing, cooking say, these are like generally lost during the normal processing methods. By most of them are lost during the primary processing, and secondary processing तक तो most of the anti-nutritional factors are inactivated. So that is the best part. The only thing is we need to know how to process and to what extent these millets are to be processed. Then there are like non-thermal and thermal technologies have emerged or coming up, and one of these are like green technologies, like thermal treatment जो है, like cooking पे तो जो है boiling वगैरह है जो, that is done at 100 degrees Celsius. But what we can do is like dry heat treatment जो है at 50 degrees Celsius also. We can inactivate lipase content so that it will not be free to act upon. When we inhibit lipase content in the millets or bajra, so it will not be available to act upon the unsaturated fatty acids and resulting into the hydrolysis or the rancidity. Then all the, as I told you in the last slide also, key anti-nutritional factors can be inhibited, and plus there would be reduction in the microbial content also. Similar is with hydrothermal treatment. Hydrothermal is we just soak for some time and then treat them like with heat at a fixed temperature for a fixed period of time until and unless again the moisture content is reduced to minimum, and it basically enhances the physicochemical properties of the millets also, the antioxidant activity as well as the availability of the bioactive components, and decrease in the glycemic index in proso millet and pearl millet products, and inactivation of the lipase plus reduction in the microbial count. Then fermentation and germination, they are very basic techniques, processing techniques that results into decrease in the anti-nutrients and the production of the compounds or making the bioactive peptides more available to the body. And similar is with the extrusion. We can develop several millet-based products, for example, from the weaning foods or the infant foods also, because extrusion जो है दो तरीके से होती है. One is like thermal extrusion and the cold extrusion. Cold extrusion में the temperature does not go beyond 50 degree or 50 to 60 के बीच में, and we can actually preserve the different kinds of the nutrients. So we will not be losing those nutrients. Then we have ultra high pressure treatment. Ultra high pressure treatment, जैसे for example proso millet है, it results into the increase in the hold viscosity, final viscosity, and the pasting temperatures and the peak time. That basically improves again the physicochemical and the physico-functional properties, especially जो starch है इनमें और the carbohydrates present होते हैं millets में, that can be used. For example, अभी जैसे आप देखिए कि cornflour होता है, it is mostly used in the gravies to increase the viscosity of the soups हो गया, gravies में डाला जाता है, all over the world डाला जाता है, and we know that it is basically total starch है. So why can't we actually modify the starches present in them using different kinds of green technologies, and which would be like starch plus the other nutrients will also go into the body when we would be adding to the food and consuming it. So starch that can be modified at higher pressure basically requires less heat to break the intermolecular bonds. So it can be used as an alternative technique to modify the millet starches for possible uses in food applications. It is not only restricted to मैंने thickening के लिए बताया कि viscosity changes हो सकते हैं. We can prepare different kinds of baked products also, जहाँ पे starch and the proteins जो हैं they play a very very important role. Then we have enzymatic modifications for like modification of the starches utilizing different kinds of enzymes. Again, we are actually playing with the physicochemical properties to enhance the like the final product that would be developed, like water holding capacity, viscosity of the suspensions, and starch. Like we would be actually that modification से जो starch produce होगा, it will again have lower digestibility. Lower digestibility means it will result into the formation of resistant starches, and the glycemic index would also be low. And enhanced water solubility, which can also be used in the beverage industries. Then other industries like confectioneries and jellies, pastas, paste can also be prepared utilizing these millets. Then comes the role of the packaging. Packaging, we know कि we've been using packaging material. Initially क्या था, हम glass bottles use करते थे, cardboards use करते थे, जो है normally polythenes use कर सकते थे. But अब क्या है, there are several different packaging material coming up, very specific also to the products, like we have BOPP, LDPE, then METPP, aluminium foils, which has increased the shelf life of the products. Like basically जो है shelf life जो हम कुछ भी बनाते हैं, that has to be launched into market, should have minimum of 3 to 4 months. Because आप सोचिए ना, transit time भी है from, it is not that कि आपने बनाया और सीधा का सीधा जो है हमने consume कर लिया. Okay, that when it is manufactured in the industry, then it goes to the market. Market में भी जो जितना transit time लगेगा, and from market to homes. So the quality of the product is to be maintained. If at all packaging material is not good, the quality of the product जो है, that would be affected. Even the safety, both the safety and quality parameters needs to be looked into if the packaging material is not good. And the shelf life, like especially if we need to export certain things, we need to have a minimum shelf life of 9 months. So there comes again the need of this processing, where different packaging material and different packaging techniques are to be utilized to increase or enhance the shelf life of the products. Then besides that, like the byproducts of the millets can also be used for preparing different biofilms or the starch films. Like for example, millet starch film with essential oil, clove oil, which is encapsulated. The bioactive component present in clove oil is eugenol. That can be prepared and can be used as a packaging material, which will have a high antioxidant activity and antimicrobial activity against various microbes. And it will also enhance the shelf life. For example, like this Blanco cheese पे किया गया था test, and inhibition of Listeria monocytogenes जो था, that was observed with excellent ABTS and DPPH radical sponging activity, which is basically a parameter to check the antioxidant activities. And we check these antioxidant activity through the formation, like how much of the concentration of TBARS, that is thiobarbiturate acid substances, are produced. So this is how millets not only like providing the nutritional profile, the therapeutic profile or the medicinal or the health benefits, plus it can also be utilized by other for making the packaging material also. So these are the like key takeaways, like inclination towards the gluten-free foods, because as we were consuming more of the wheat and rice, and our body being like Indians ka jo body makeup hai, that is not made, that was not made for consuming these finer grains. So more of these chronic diseases as well as celiac disease is coming up. There is also drift from the animal proteins to plant proteins, where millets जो हैं, they can actually substitute for varied animal proteins because it contains a good sources of proteins. Then there is resurgent interest in identifying and highlighting the health components of these ancient grains and functional food ingredients. There we are lacking. Basically, it is like now with the International Year of Millets, we are promoting millets. But हम लोग भूल गए हैं कि we are like our ancestors or our like the entire thing, this is an indigenous crop and we were consuming. अब क्या है, जो coming generations हैं, they do not even know the names, they cannot identify the kind of millets. If we keep millets on a table and tell as a games in the schools में कि ये कौन सा millet है, इसको पहचानो, इसके क्या nutrient benefits है, तो उस तरीके से if we actually use the visual aids for teaching the school or college children about millets, it would like disseminating the knowledge to the masses. Because जब हम बच्चों को, महिलाओं को सिखाएंगे तो वो घर घर तक पहुंचेगा. So this is how we need to actually take it as a mission to, जो मैंने कहा था millet momentum जो है अभी gradual उस पे चल रहा है, so that we need to actually use these children and women as the brand ambassadors to actually take the message from to each and every home. Then there is a strong need to revive some of the crops through technological intervention. सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट चीज यही है कि क्रॉप्स हमारी कंट्री में अवेलेबल है, प्रोसेसिंग टेक्निक्स हमें पता है, टेक्नोलॉजी इंटरवेंशन नहीं है. हर घर के अगर हम देखें, जैसे कोडो है, वन ऑफ द माइनर मिलेट्स, इट हैज 7 layers एंड वी डोंट हैव लाइक प्रोसेसिंग मशीन्स, क्योंकि जब हम उसको प्रोसेस करने लगते हैं या तो बहुत जो उसका जब लेयर्स उतरती हैं तो बहुत कम यील्ड आती है, बहुत वेस्टेज होती है, या वो टूट जाते हैं ग्रेन्स. तो वी नीड टू सी कि एवरी ग्रेन नीड्स अ स्पेसिफिक इक्विपमेंट, किस स्पीड पे करना है, कितनी देर के लिए करना है, दैट द डेटा नीड्स टू बी वैलिडेटेड. एंड सबसे बड़ी बात है कि बड़ी बड़ी मशीनें तो हैं, इंडस्ट्रीज तो कर लेती हैं, लेकिन इफ आई वांट कि मेरे को अपने घर में आई वांट टू ब्रिंग दिस मिलेट्स अपने उसमें लेके आऊं, और वो मिलेट्स जो है मैं इनको जब यूज करना है तो खाना है, तो मेरे पास घर में उनको डीहस्क करने के लिए डीहलर्स नहीं है. तो स्मॉल स्केल एज वेल एज लार्ज स्केल टेक्नोलॉजिकल इंटरवेंशन जो है through different kinds of processing machines is required. So we need to work upon this mass use and commercialization of these machines also. We know that millets are the rich source of nutrients. The technology or the processing enhances the techno-biofunctionality, which leads to the improvement in the nutritional profile, reduction in the anti-nutritional components, the bioavailability of the nutrients. ये नहीं होता है कि भाई बहुत रिच है सारे के सारे न्यूट्रिएंट्स में और मैं कंज्यूम करूंगी तो वो मेरी बॉडी में मिल जाएंगे. अगेन वो क्यों नहीं मिल रहे हैं, उसके लिए क्या रीजन है. जैसे अनीमिया के लिए हम क्या कर रहे हैं, आयरन रिच चीजें कहते हैं, ग्रीन वेजिटेबल्स आर रिच इन दिस आयरन, कंज्यूम देम. अगर और जो हरी सब्जियां हैं वो इतनी इजीली अवेलेबल है कि कोई भी गरीब से गरीब इंसान भी आराम से मेथी, पालक, ये सब जो सीजनल टाइम होता है, सीजनल वेजिटेबल्स होती हैं, अगर कंज्यूम करें तो 2-2, 5-5 रुपए में भी हमारे को मिल जाता है. लेकिन वी आर नॉट एबल टू कम्बैट एनीमिया थ्रू दिस. तो तभी तो नीड आ रही है ना. तो हमारे को ये पता होना चाहिए कि कैसे जो है उसका न्यूट्रिशनल प्रोफाइल जो है उसको एनहांस किया जा सकता है, सो दैट इवन वी कंज्यूम देम we are able to use them, utilize them in our body. The bioactive components or those micronutrients are bioavailable to our body. So there we need to actually work upon. And वो किस तरीके से होगा, by these educating or awareness campaigns, कि हमारे को घर घर तक वो मैसेज लेके जाना है कि इसकी बायोअवेलेबिलिटी कैसे एनहांस की जा सकती है. पैकेजिंग ऑफ द मिलेट्स मैंने अभी बताया ही है कि आपको बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है, बिकॉज अब जो पैकेजिंग मटेरियल्स ऐसे भी आ गए, हम कितना भी क्या कर रहे हैं, हम फूड एडिटिव्स डालते हैं, सब कुछ करते हैं, तो पैकेजिंग मटेरियल पे भी ऐसे आ गए हैं कि प्रोसेसिंग से, कि जैसे कुछ नैनो कैप्सुलेट करके, माइक्रो इनकैप्सुलेट करके पैकेजिंग मटेरियल पे ही सम ऑफ दीज एडिटिव्स और माइक्रोन्यूट्रिएंट्स की जब जरूरत होती है तब वो उसमें रिलीज होता है, वी डोंट नीड टू add them into the food. Then effective utilization of raw and processed millets to prepare these millet products. तो वैल्यू एडेड प्रोडक्ट्स कैसे बनने हैं उसको, वो भी जो है हमें ट्रेनिंग्स इम्पार्ट करनी होती हैं. सो when we talk about the NIFTM initiatives कि हम किस तरीके से we are promoting these millets, so I would say कि we have developed certain recipes, मे बी फर्मेंटेड हैं और कुछ जो है दे आर एक्सट्रूडेड प्रोडक्ट्स, वेयर जनरली क्या होता है कि हम बच्चों को, और अगर डायरेक्ट कहेंगे मिलेट्स कंज्यूम करने को, कहें कि 100% आप मिलेट्स कंज्यूम कर लो, बिकॉज क्या है, लाइक इफ वी गो बैक टू आवर दादी नानी वाली स्टेज, उन्होंने मिलेट्स कंज्यूम करी होंगी, हमारी वाली स्टेज में ही हम लोगों ने नहीं करी हैं. एंड when we talk about our children, they don't even know, so we need to go back to our roots. तो उसके लिए now we cannot stop our children, because उनकी क्या है कि इतना ज्यादा हम भी, we are also habitual, and our children जो है gut जो है intestines जो है, they are more like adapted to consumption of wheat and grain. So if we consume 100% or substitute wheat and rice by 100% of the millets, we will not be able to take them also. So we have to incorporate these millets slowly into our diet, like maybe up to 50 to 70%. And like NIFTM is working closely with different ministries, like Ministry of Food Processing Industries, then government WCD, that is Women and Child Development, Government of Kerala, Government of Haryana, then Ministry of Tribal Affairs, MP government, then FSSI. तो इन सब के साथ क्या हम काम कर रहे हैं, we are working on the millets to prepare value added products, to like what is the carbon footprint, like FSSI say we are working ki what is the greenhouse gas emission if we grow millets, and it is not up to the grow karne se, when we are consuming we are also emitting some carbon footprints into the environment. So how this can actually, the production of the millets or the consumption of millets, how much impact on the carbon footprints it leaves, and different value added products are being prepared. और साथ ही साथ जो establish किए हैं हमने academic and industry linkages through which we are also promoting these value added products. So we are very closely working with government organizations, academic institutions, and the industries, so that private public partnership, PPP, we are promoting. And these are certain products that have been prepared at NIFTM under different categories, like composite flours, extruded products, breakfast cereals, snacks, baked products, traditional foods, baby foods, and ready-to-eat premixes also. So these are some of the photographs that are that have been shown to you. These are like premixes of halwa and panjiri, and this is for the yellow parts jo hai, that is kind of a premix of a khichdi, that is vegetable premix khichdi. Then these are the extruded products, like flakes hai, puffs hai, kurkure hai, and then the nachos. These are the millet based products, baked products. Then other things that again are related to bakery, nutri bars, and this is again halwa mix, khichdi mix, and panjiri mix, as I was telling you. These are some of the extruded products of the breakfast cereals, like pearl millet, RTC noodles also, and pastas have been also been prepared. And we also impart training or capacity building with in close association with the Ministry of Madhya Pradesh, where we imparted training in the Dindori district बैगा ट्राइब्स को, जहाँ पे कोडो और कुटकी बहुत ज्यादा अमाउंट में पाया जाता है। और इनको जो है हमने वहां जाके 3 days की ट्रेनिंग दी थी। इनका वहां पे बेकिंग यूनिट था, and we had given the training how the value added products can be prepared, and the hands on experience was given to them. ये यहाँ पे आप देख सकते हैं कि सारी जो SHG वुमेन्स हैं डिफरेंट वहाँ पे ट्राइब्स की, उन्होंने आके पहले हमने उनको बताया था और उसके बाद उन्होंने वो ट्रेनिंग जो है खुद बनाए थे ये प्रोडक्ट्स बहुत लार्ज स्केल पे। ये प्रैक्टिकल सेशंस दिए थे, देखिए आप महिलाएं सारी खुद ही काम कर रही हैं। तो जितने भी प्रोडक्ट्स बनाए थे उन्होंने रस्क बनाए, मफिन्स बनाए, बिस्किट्स बनाए, ब्रेड्स बनाई और फिर जो केक्स भी बनाए थे and they were then distributed among themselves only. ये जो है डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन किया गया था सर्टिफिकेट्स का, फीडबैक है। देन उनको सर्टिफिकेट्स प्रदान किए गए थे सो दैट दे कैन एक्चुअली इफ दे वांट कि कोई अपना एंटरप्रेन्योर स्टार्ट करना चाहते हैं तो वो भी कर सकते हैं। ये certain booklets and manuals have been printed for the recipes as well as for setting up the bakery or the RTE plant in both languages, Hindi and English. And then the training was also imparted at NIFTM because bakery, उनको वहाँ की बेकरी बहुत छोटी थी, तो हमारा यहाँ बेकरी पायलट प्लांट है, रेडी टू ईट पायलट प्लांट है। तो वहाँ के जो SHG वुमेन थी जो इंटरेस्टेड थी वो वापस आके उन्होंने यहाँ पर 5 दिन की ट्रेनिंग ली थी हमसे। ये देखिए RTE प्लांट में दे आर प्रिपेयरिंग ऑल दीज प्रोडक्ट्स जो हमने अभी आपको फोटोज दिखाई हैं। ये जितने प्रोडक्ट्स उस ट्रेनिंग के दौरान बनाए गए थे उन्हीं के द्वारा, फ्लेक्स, पफ्स हैं, नाचोस हैं, कुरकुरे हैं, मठियाँ हैं, बेक्ड प्रोडक्ट्स हैं। इसके अलावा जो है वी आर ऑल्सो प्रमोटिंग द मिलेट्स इन ICDS लाइक थ्रू ड्यूरिंग द न्यूट्रिशन मंथ जो सितंबर को है पोषण माह माना जाता है, उसमें हमने मिलेट्स के जो है डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट्स बना के बच्चों में आंगनवाड़ी में जो कुंडली की नियर बाय एरिया में आंगनवाड़ी है वहां पे हमने बांटे थे। देन प्रमोटिंग मिलेट्स इन ICDS जैसे 2 हरियाणा के डिस्ट्रिक्ट्स हैं, मेवात और फरीदाबाद, वहां पे हमने adoption of 1000 children किया है with the help of Directorate of Women and Child Development in collaboration with Hexagon Nutrition Limited जो एक इंडस्ट्री है, और एम्स का जो सेंटर है अनीमिया का, उसके साथ हमने SAM जो severely acute malnourished children and MAM children है, moderately acute malnourished children, उनके इंटरवेंशन कर रहे हैं हम फॉर 8 weeks, जिसमें हम प्री एंड पोस्ट बेसलाइन डेटा लेते हैं न्यूट्रिशनल असेसमेंट का। तो ये जो मेजरमेंट्स की जा रही हैं, कितना हाइट है, कितना वेट है, इसको हम एंथ्रोपोमेट्रिक मेजरमेंट्स करते हैं। एंड पहले हम बेसलाइन पे लिया, उसके बाद हम 8 वीक्स को उनको सप्लीमेंटेशन दे रहे हैं, एंड देन 8 वीक्स के बाद जो है उसका पोस्ट जो है असेसमेंट किया जाएगा कि उनका वेट गेन में कितना डिफरेंस आया है। And then we are also distributed the lactation cookies, millet-based lactation cookies in Kerala through the Women and Child Development, Government of Kerala, to enhance the milk output of the lactating mothers. And we had also worked on the flavor change of THR, that is take home ration. उसमें हमने पहले तो उसका फ्लेवर, क्योंकि उसमें काफी मात्रा में सोयाबीन डलती है, तो सोयाबीन की वजह से बीनी फ्लेवर आता है जिसकी वजह से बच्चे खाते नहीं हैं, तो उसका हमने फ्लेवर चेंज भी किया। एंड डिफरेंट प्रोडक्ट्स उसके बाद उससे डेवलप किए ऑन दिस बेकरी एज वेल एज RTE प्लांट। ये मीडिया कवरेज की कुछ ग्लिम्पसेस हैं। That was all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for this wonderful session, and you have shown all the products are made of millets, and it's completely mesmerizing to see that what we can get from millets if we start thinking that way. So, ma'am, as the participants have joined through YouTube, and I have said that we just get their questions through WhatsApp. So we have a few questions for you.
Okay.
Yeah, ma'am. The participants, they just want to know that the products you have shown in the PPT, which are prepared by your institute, do you have like some patents for that products?
No, patents we have not done because they are the normal products utilizing the different processing techniques. But obviously the optimization we have done, and if at all the technology is to be transferred to some industry, then NIFTM is open for that. If like we had given millet-based sattu to one of the industries, so that technology has been already given to one of the industry, and for the lactation cookies also we are in the process of giving that technology.
Okay, ma'am. So, ma'am, the product NIFTM have made them available to people, like somebody can buy them, like how we can just know that how these products are.
Yeah, if at all it is required in bulk, then probably the order is to be placed in advance. And if at all something is required, like on day-to-day basis, we generally prepare them at NIFTM, and it is available. Like we have a center of excellence for food fortification where we have a counter through which we can actually distribute them. Like we are supplying them in the canteens as well as in the campus to the staff or the faculty. Students can also buy. We have an online portal also. They can give order and they can take.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, other question is like, what is the estimated cost of these products? Like, what is the range? Are they much costlier or they are affordable?
Yeah, I would say they are affordable, but no doubt, since they contain millets, and millets at this point of time, initially it was called as a poor man's staple. Now it is for the elite class, I would say. So middle people are not able to take since it is costly. But we are trying to make them cost effective as much as possible. And so like the government of India is also trying, like if we get these millets through on subsidized rates through FCI, probably the cost will also go down further.
Yeah, ma'am. Actually, the production is low, so that's why the price of the post value added products is also high. That is quite sure. Yeah, ma'am. Other question is like you have said that NIFTM provides trainings to farmers, like you have shown us the pictures. So, is there any program like farmers or students or anybody who's interested in getting training? They can come to your institute and get get trained.
Yes, we generally float the dates for the training. Like we generally have a calendar, and every month we impart training on food fortification. And if at all some value-added products, training is required on value-added products, then we can customize that training for those particular. Like we had already conducted the training for this Haryana State Livelihood Mission, HSRLM, and then from Punjab, like Atma Foundation, उनके साथ भी हमारा regular वो रहता है. We have conducted a sequential trainings for 3 to 4 months. Then again वो COVID आ गया था बीच में, and एक farmers का ये भी रहता है ना कि उनका वो कब फ्री होते हैं, क्योंकि उनका जो है जैसे फार्मिंग में इन्वॉल्व है, कभी कोई प्रोडक्शन हो रहा है, कभी काटना है उसमें, तो उनकी अवेलेबिलिटी पे एंड SHG ग्रुप्स को भी, एंड द पर्टिकुलर ट्रेनिंग्स कैन बी कस्टमाइज्ड आल्सो एंड अकॉर्डिंगली दे वुड बी चार्ज्ड.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am, for such a wonderful session. And we are done with the question. In case we get any other question, we'll get back to you through mail or through WhatsApp. Sure. Or I just recommend all the participants to go to the website and learn about and know about the dates of the training, and they can just learn with your institute.
Sure. And
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so
much. If at all it is required, you can see or give your queries. Like there is a on our website, there is a like SEF portal, Center of Excellence for Food Fortification. So you can directly write the mails to that, and we will be responding to them.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much. So nice of you. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Okay. I'll be leaving the session. Okay.
Yeah, ma'am.
Thank you
Sure.
so much.
Thank you, ma'am. So in this series of this training, this workshop, we have with us our next guest, Dr. Srinivasa Babu. So, sir is senior scientist in ICR in Indian Institute of Millet Research, Hyderabad. So, sir is specialized in agriculture entomology from IRI, and sir has joined as scientist in the year 1998 at Indian Institute of Wheat and Barley in the Institute of Karnal and he worked there for 13 years and then worked extensive research on wheat and major millets. So in the year 2011, Sir joined in ICAR IIMR as senior scientist and hand-holded 25 external funded projects with the worth of 18 crores. So, sir is a key person and policy maker in Odisha Millet Mission, Assam Millet Mission, Chhattisgarh Millet Mission, and associated with the Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, and northeastern hill states. Sir is active in Rotary activities and Krishi activities, and he's also an active member of various professional societies, including Law of Entomology Society, Society for Advanced Wheat and Barley Research, Society for Seed Science Research, and Sir has published more than 50 articles and 10 books. Sir has been awarded with various prestigious awards, including Best Scientist Award, Best Researcher Award, and Sir has made his best contribution towards the and got Millet Award in the various forms. So, sir, as I have already mentioned that sir was instrumental in various millet missions. So today sir is going to share his experience with us as this is the international year of millet. So sir is going to share his experience and tell our participants like how we can just make most of this year. So welcome sir, and over to you.
Thank you. Before I start, I just want to know who are all the target audience for here in this session. Because
huge registrations for this programs and we are not able to join all of them through Zoom, so we have live streamed this through YouTube. So we have various stakeholders like budding entrepreneurs, students, and faculties. So everybody they are joined through YouTube.
Good evening, everybody. Actually, I was given a small assignment at 3 o'clock, so I have some travel and attending one Zoom session, which just concluded before I forcefully came out. It did not conclude on cooperative moments in India. But this is my 12 plus years in millets and looking millets in the last 12 years. There is a lot of buzz and there is what to call mission mode pushed from the Prime Minister himself to popularize millets in the whole world as a healthy food and as a supplement to many of the medicines of modern living. So to start with, I just want to say how many of us have at least one meal a day where millet is a part. We recommend at least 100 grams of millet in a day, whether it is morning breakfast or lunch or dinner. But we should have some portion of millet to ward off so many lifestyle diseases. As per recent government of India estimates, the major cause for most of the deaths in the current situation almost is around 40% is non-communicable diseases. It is not heart and it is not cancer. Non-communicable diseases are like diabetes, blood pressure, and cardiovascular related diseases, not heart attacks. So all these are mainly due to the lack of exercise, proper exposure to sunlight, and sedentary lifestyle, and very heavy calorie intake. without any fiber in it. So millet will be a solution and an answer to all these kinds of modern day living and food eating habits. So the government of India is trying to revitalize and bring millets back into our diet and our daily lives and making India a hub for the world to get benefit from the millet foods. Uh, to, to start with, when we got our independence, millet area is roughly around 38 to 40 million hectares in 1955 up to 60. With the onset of green revolution and policies to self sufficiency of food grains, Government of India has pushed the two crops rice and wheat, where they have sustained the growth because of the policy interventions, because of the demand for food, and also the technology which has suited us, our country, to become self-sufficient. Similarly, certain crops like maize have also grown, wherein there is a demand from the industry side, like poultry industries. Though it is pushed through technology, because technology has given a lot of manifold increase in the yields. But it is not the case with millets. From 38, 40 million hectares to now we have only 13 to 14 million hectares in the country with a production of around 17 or 15 to 17 million tons. Though there is a decline in more than 65% of area in the country from 38 million to almost 13, 14 million now, but productivity has continuously been improving. So from technological point of view, millet research or millet promotion is not at the backstage. Only the cash crops and the policy towards pushing rice and wheat for self-sufficiency has made the reduction in the area. Now with the push from the government of India itself, from Prime Minister he himself, now we can bring back certain areas wherein we can take these crops either in second or third season of the year. Maybe after maybe rice, it can be. If you have a window of say 70 to 80 days, you can fit in one of the millets, small millets especially, this foxtail, proso, then little millet, in the window of 70 to 80 days, and where we can get at least 800 to 1000 kg of yield. So to move forward, actually, I wish to mention there are only few crops which are both rich in minerals, rich in fiber, and rich in what you call complex carbohydrates. Millets are having all these three characters. Why it is suitable for our modern day living is because of its slow release of carbohydrates, that is complex carbohydrates, where you have more complex amylopectins in the carbohydrate portion, more fiber. Fiber is uh, required for the body to clean the blood vessels and to clean the impurities in the intestine system. Then all millets are rich in calcium, magnesium, zinc, and several amino acids. So these two, three characters make the millets more suitable for substitution for modern day lifestyle diseases. Rather than depending on medicines, you depend on your food. So realizing these importance, so the government of India is pushing for the last 5 years. In 2018, we have celebrated National Year of Millets. But the impetus or the growth or the push which was required to improve or to increase the production area, and that thing has not taken that much fast. But now with the focus on from every department, I think almost 16 departments are working to promote millets from Government of India side. So I think this will give a big push for the millet growth and promotion. I wish to share some few examples from our experiences. Like we have we have formed around 41 FPOs from IIMR, and most of them are doing good business, though they are only 2.5 2 years old. We wish to suggest to the state governments or to the bodies where they have certain kind of cooperative systems is that uh, at least for small millets you need primary processing, primary cleaning things. So millets like sorghum, bajra and ragi, they don't require any processing, so they can directly be utilized as food. Like you can make rotis from them, or you can use it for making several products out of their flour. But small millets are not like that. They require milling, so primary processing it has to be the first step. So my advice to all the farmers or farmer cooperatives or the governments who want to promote millet at least at a block level or a district level. So they should have certain facilities at least the block level or at least some 3 4 village level, so that farmers who grow the millets can clean them, can mill them if they want to mill them, and the milled rice or from grain to rice will fetch more money than grain. So they can market after utilizing it for their own consumption. This is the basic step which is required at from government point of view. To promote millets, the governments can do a few more things like they can identify the areas where there is limited or no use of fertilizers and pesticides so that they can push those areas as organic. And there is a lot of demand for organic products all over the world, especially in millet. There are no countries which are organic and supplying to the world. So that will be one of the very good policy decisions by the governments, state governments, wherein they can identify the pockets and can declare them as organic, and they can get higher price. Hello, sorry, there was a call. I'm on the phone now. So this is one observation from our side. Second observation is the government should make some at least some plans to procure the millets for the benefit of farmers, and so at a given minimum support price. Many state governments are in the process of making some minimum support prices. So this will push the area production and productivity of the millets. There are minimum support prices only 3 millets like ragi, bajra, and sorghum. So in these areas there is no need for giving the minimum support price, but especially for small millets, if you want to push in the state, we need to have some kind of government support from procurement point of view, because farmers can produce, but they don't know where to market it. So this will be a good thing for them to encourage the farmers to grow more millets. And then if they are promoting kind of, they should have kind of FPOs should be identified at the block level where these what you call kind of where you can identify the blocks where you can promote there only. It should not be FPO should be at one place, the production point should be not at the other place. So these kind of policy initiatives. Then there are several schemes by Government of India to the state government where they are promoting the processing facilities for primary processing for the almost all food crops, but especially for millets. So they can utilize all those schemes where they can give some grants, they can give some subsidies, so the farmers and entrepreneurs can be encouraged so that industry will grow and farmer also get benefited from that. In terms of capacity building and strengthening the machinery, maybe at all levels, maybe at the agriculture department level or the people who are working at the block level or some of the self-help groups or NGOs who are working in a particular millet area. You can take the help of Indian Institute of Millets Research or any other state government run agriculture universities where we have small millet AICRP centers. You can get all the knowledge and capacity building training from there. So this will be helping the people who are in the millet business to have more broaden their knowledge and have more productive discussions and outcomes. And the other points which we are doing with other state governments is we are, as a central government, we are agency, we are trying to give them the all whatever high yielding varieties in case of all the small millets and hybrids in case of batch and sorghum, suiting to the requirement of particular state and particular area. So we wish to help the reach of these high yielding varieties to the farmers through the state government or through the state agricultural universities, wherein we want to develop seed banks or seed community banks and make them have the latest varieties and hybrids for improving the yield and things like that. Other we are doing is being a national agency, we want to connect all the millet growing areas to the mainstream, like through the industry to marketing channels like Flipkart and Amazon kind of things also, where they have separate channels for procuring from the farmers or from the farmer producers. Similarly, we have so many digital marketing channels like Hyderabad based. We have 4-5 people who are doing the digital these things in both organic section and inorganic section also. So we can connect, if you have good products, we can connect them to the local bodies or farmers or self-help groups from our institute point of view. Besides that, this Indian Institute of Millet Research is promoting several state governments where millet cultivation is going on through the establishment of primary processing centers to giving the seeds, giving the awareness through marathons or conclaves or state level meetings. And all you need to do is you should have a request saying that this much the area and these many people are involved and we want some awareness kind of program from your side. So that wherever possible we are trying to do. And especially in areas where the ST population is there, we have special schemes and we are giving a lot of importance to those areas to increase the awareness and to make more available things which are available with us to them. The other areas where we as a national institute are promoting is that the farmers who are the entrepreneurs who are very progressive and want to do something in millet business, we bring them to our institute. We give them 3 to 4 days training, and we have an incubation center where they will be incubated and given all the facilities which we have at our institute to make productions from their raw materials, pack them and take them out and market. So this kind of incubation facilities are at least minimum 6 months they will support till they get a hold on their market and become self-sustainable. Similarly, for new entrepreneurs and the entrepreneurs who want to have their business expanded, we are giving some grants through competitive programs like Engrain and RKDY Raftar, where for new startup or entrepreneurs to start millet business, we are giving up to 5 lakh grants. And for the businesses, people who are already in the millet business and want to expand, up to 25 lakhs we are giving as a grant. It depends on the proposal which we receive. And they will be trained at least 3 months at the institute and will be given the grant after the completion of the programs. These are some of the areas we are doing work directly with the stakeholders in the millet industry and farming industry. Besides this, we do several programs where we support state governments in planning their action plans for their millet missions, and as a technical advisory agency, we support their all activities where they require our help and assistance. This is in a nutshell what IIMR is doing at the national level for promotion of millets. And if there is any specific thing which I wanted to give, I wanted to talk, I can talk. So, Himaniji, I think.
Yes, sir.
There is anything which is like specific thing which you want to talk?
Yes, sir. Sir, as IIMR is the premier institute which is working in the field of millets. So there are some participants who are just asking like how IIMR, what is your plan ahead to make most of this year and
our plan ahead is like helping the people who are doing some good work in business and in even agriculture, to give them a hand, to make them what you call competent, so that they can do their business across India, even abroad. So all that what you call hand holding and enabling them to do their business, IIMR is there to help them. And to the possible extent, this Apida is also working with us. But Millet, they have a special cell where they are having a lot of data in their website, where, who are the buyers and what are the country requirements. All that stuff is there in the Apida website. So regarding processing technologies and facilities which are required for the export, we can also help them in establishing and in giving some their guidance.
Yeah, sir. Since we are also working in this agri-education sector from around past 3 years, and we organize like continuously we organize some events or workshop for people, and we just invite various guests from India and other nations. So since day one, I was listening that they just suggest farmers and they just suggest the listeners or audience to go for crop diversification and add millets into their diets and to eat healthy food, healthy and nutritious food. So right now, when we are witnessing that finally we are into the International Year of Millets, which is 2023, and India is celebrating this year like anything like more than any other nation in the world, and our government is also promoting it. So how do you
Basically,
see
you
like
work in Haryana or Punjab, or you work for now.
yes sir?
Where you work, I don't know.
Yeah sir, we are working, we are from Chandigarh.
Chandigarh. Actually, we have a request from the government of this one, Indian Institute of Wheat and Barley Research. We may be planning to come maybe this month. So if there is any specific this thing for Haryana or maybe Punjab, we can plan one lecture or something when we come there or when we visit there. We can have a specific requirement for Haryana. So if they harvest wheat, they have a time of maybe 75, 80 days. This year we are planning to give it at least to the research institute where we wanted to try at least 3, 4 millets in summer season where instead of moong, we can promote millet. So if it can come within that 65, 70 days, then there will be crop diversification also, and also the availability of millet in the market at an affordable price. So millet rice you can get for maybe 60, 70 rupees a kilo rather than paying 150 to 200 rupees. So these kind of things may take maybe 1, 2 years or 3 years in the down the lane where we can identify particular variety. We can make the seed for the area required in that part of country. So this can happen over a time, and it has its own what you call gestation. So we are in the process of doing some experimentation in this summer, especially in Karnal. So if you have
Okay,
anybody or any organization who want to try these crops in summer season, you can contact me. I will leave my number here. Yeah, you have my number, so you can supply the seed. That is help from this National Institute.
sure sir, we will definitely do if there is a possibility
If you
for
need
this.
any kind of processing trainings and other things, you can select say a few people, maybe some 15, 20. You can get some grant from your state government. You can send here. We will take them 2 to 3 days time to make them train for the primary processing. You can make them help in establishing the primary processing. We need to only take some 7 to 8 lakhs. That's it. So they
Okay.
can utilize the things. So they can. Main thing is availability of the millet to eat. So availability comes from production. So because we don't have that push so far, so we try to introduce that crop in your area.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Sir, other thing, like we know that change is important. Like change is the law of the nature, and we are just recommending the farmers to change their crops, like go to millets rather than rice and wheat and everything. But as we have witnessed about organic farming, like when we have recommended the farmers to switch for organic farming, so it is also like they have to consider a transition period of around 2 to 3 years, and in that
Yeah.
time they have to bear the loss. So in this scenario, if they are switching from cereal, like switching from rice to wheat to
Rice
millets,
wheat to
yeah,
millets.
they
Yeah. I don't suggest rice wheat to millet, but you can utilize the period in between where we can experiment. Some people are experimenting and growing ragi in Punjab. I know few farmers who have come to our institute. They are making some biscuits, they are making some laddus, some ragi. So they are only selected people, 1, 2 examples. But we want to make it a people's movement. Everybody should eat at least 100 grams a day. Then only we can live long. Otherwise, we will have to face so many non-communicable diseases like lifestyle diseases.
Yes, actually the farmers, most of the, like you know that in India, most of the farmers are small and marginal. So they are just in a dilemma that whether if we go and change the cropping pattern or change the crops, is it be like feasible? Like they have to bear the losses, how much losses they have to face. Like these are the things they are.
Madam, we have a center in Ludhiana, Punjab Agriculture University. We have a center in Haryana where HISR, we have a center where we have 4 millet scientists working in each center. So we want to spread the word of millet through them also. So it may take some time, but this summer we are going to have at least 1-2 places the summer crop of millets from our side. So if you have anybody or any agency or government organization interested in growing, generally April 15th, after that the fields will be vacant till June end also. So that period they can utilize.
Yes, sir. Sir, as we have our first guest speaker, she has highlighted that we don't have proper POPs for growing millets.
No, not
So
that. You can visit our website. We have so many uh, languages, books where you can practice the practices for all the crops, all the millets you have.
all the
Only
major
thing
and
is
minor
you should search. That's all. So interest and search. It's not that general statement will not do.
Okay, okay. So I will just suggest
For
all the
your information, we have 45 regional stations, regional AICRP centers working in the country at 21 states. And we are more than 300 scientists working for only millets. This is the largest network in the whole world. There is no other country who is spending so much on millets and millet research. So this
I
is
will
the
just yeah, I just want to take this opportunity and tell our participants that if they want to know or they learn about the POPs of millets, they can visit the
I can
website
share
of
you maybe Monday. I will share. I will send you the package of practices for all millets in English, but we don't have Punjabi or other language.
yeah, yeah.
Especially.
Most of the participants will understand English, sir.
So
Yeah, we
you
will
can
definitely
you can
share with them.
distribute. You can distribute by email or your group also. We have maybe there the suitability of particular variety may not be there, but as a whole that is the crop. Suppose if I'm 5 feet 10 inches height, that 5 feet 10 inches maybe I may be thin or maybe thick, but the crop will come and we'll have that kind of growth. Maybe if it is 100 days here, maybe 90 or 105 days there. That's all. But same life stage cycles, it will flower at 45, 50 days and it will complete. So those things will not change. So packages packages are there. If you want, I can share on Monday. So you can
Yes, sir. Yes,
distribute.
sir. Yes,
You
sir.
can
We will
distribute.
definitely share with them the participants if we get them from your end because there is a there is no such awareness about millets among
But
participants at
we will
ground
tell
level.
you, we are here to make it.
Yeah, sir. We are here to make it this year a success and uh, to practice this in coming year also, not just
Yeah, yeah.
in this year.
No, no,
Yeah.
no, no. It will go a long
that
way.
is the that is the important thing, like we should
You know,
continue doing this in coming years also.
2016 is International Year of Pulses. In 2016, we are producing around 15 to 16 million tons. Now today we are producing around 28 million tons. That is the impact of International Year. It will not happen overnight. It will take its own.
Yeah, so it will take time and we need
Yeah, yeah.
to do it
And
consistently.
we are
Yeah,
there to support.
consistency.
Yeah, I am there to support, especially because I stayed almost 18 years in North. I know the requirements and things like that. I have special liking for Haryana, so we can have some program and do some good work there.
Yes, sir. Sir, one of the participants is asking that what is your advice or what is your suggestions to somebody who is thinking to uh, start an enterprise in the field of millets, like about processing and export and anything, like how they can just proceed?
Where he is from?
Sir, actually, I just got the message anonymously, so I don't know that from where he or she is
The
from.
problem is, madam, Unilever, it's a big company, wanted to have millets in their profile. Like they have so many products from wheat-based thing. They want to have some what to call mixed things like mixed roti kind of thing, multigrain art. So they are based at Gurgaon. So logistics and transport is becoming a problem. Suppose you don't have production, where from raw material come? It should come from south only, or at least from central India. So to be competitive in the world, you should have good pricing for your product. So if he thinks we should start a industry, so you should look for the source of raw material first. Then you can visit us once or twice so that you can know what are the products that are available and what are the products that are required for abroad. Gluten-free foods have a lot of demand in Europe and even in Americas also. So it all requires a deep study, madam. It's not just like that. You should have machinery. You should have what you call after sales service of the machinery. If something happens, somebody should come from Salem or Coimbatore. So many logistics you need. So one should have a detailed study into the business insights, and one should start, because it is not 1 lakh, 2 lakh. At least they need to spend at least 3-4 crores. If they want to do exports, it requires more also. So it all requires dedication and commitment for what you are doing.
Sure, sir. Yeah, definitely, sir. Definitely. Commitment and dedication is must if you
Yeah.
want to come in this field.
Yeah. For bakery kind of thing, they can start anywhere, because all that the things that are baked for wheat, they can bake it for millet. So for that raw material, they can get it from maybe central India or from South India. But for other things which they want to do heavy turnout, or on a large scale, this thing, what to call big outlay, they need good study and analysis.
Okay, sir.
SWOT analysis they should do. There is strength, weakness, opportunities, and trainings that they should do.
Yes, sir. Sure, sir.
So,
Sir, right now yeah.
tell me. I have some other engagement, so I thought I will complete and go.
Yeah, sir. We are done with the questions, and in case if we get any other queries or questions, we will just
This
get
may
back
be a
to you.
beginning, madam. You can take you have my number. You can communicate.
Yeah,
Most
sure.
probably we'll respond unless until we are on a travel. We respond on the same day.
Sure,
Take care. Yeah? Good
yeah,
luck
sir.
to
Thank
you,
you,
and
sir.
good luck to your audience partners, whatever you have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for joining.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. So participants, now we are done with all the 3 sessions of day 2 of in 3 days international workshop on Millet Mahotsav. So we will join tomorrow for the next session, and till then, take care and have a great evening.